Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I am Cage, and that is Chair.
Chair.
Uh,
Oh,
yes,
that's
Chair.
me.
That's you. How's it going? How's everything? How's everything been, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing okay. I went to a powerlifting class on Monday,
How'd that
and
go?
it was good. I'm just very sore now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still went to the gym yesterday, but I didn't go to the gym today because I'm very sore from that.
Yeah.
So, and I have to do this like golf event for work tomorrow, and I didn't want to be dying, so I skipped the gym today. It's just how it's got to be. So, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, I've been learning a lot about myself recently. You know, through therapy and whatnot.
Good.
Yeah, good, so good. It's been interesting. It's not been easy, of course, but nothing worth doing in life is ever easy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've been there's been some headwinds, and I think we're overcoming a lot of things as we go. But yeah, I guess it's very important to understand how your brain works or something.
Yep.
So yeah. But other than that, just been chilling. Work, all the work, all the work, all the time.
Yep.
So but yeah. Anything exciting been going on with you, good sir?
Nope. I just play video games and smoke weed all day.
Okay. Did you watch PlayStation State of Play yesterday?
No, but I heard a lot of news about it because I'm on Twitter and a bunch of nerds are angry about like one specific thing. I have a
Ooh,
PlayStation. I don't play a lot of PlayStation games. So I'm probably gonna watch the PC Gamer Show, which is coming up this Sunday. Um,
okay.
but as for what PS5 games, it just depends on like if I'm gonna get it. Like if they release like Jack and Daxter or something like that, maybe I'd get it. But there's a new God of War, I guess, is very controversial.
Is it?
So yeah, we can talk about that. And I know
Yeah.
exactly why it's controversial. It's because gamers hate women,
Oh, that's why.
and
I
they
all
hate games where they hate games where they're forced to play women. I don't understand why that is, but
uh, I've only seen people saying positive things, but maybe I'm in a different Twitter sphere than you are. But yeah, we'll kind of go through everything that they announced at the State of Play, starting
mhm.
with Wolverine. We already knew that we were getting a Wolverine game at some point from Insomniac. They did the Spider-Man games, and they released like extended gameplay footage featuring Wolverine and Jean Grey's in it and Sabretooth. And apparently it takes place in the same universe as the Spider-Man games, but there's no X-Men in this universe or something. But it will be launching on September 15th of this year.
Even though the Wolverine game's coming, it's supposed to be brutal and violent. It's joining the rank of the Marvel games that have been made in Unreal Engine 5 to look cool, like Guardians of the Galaxy, a game that was actually supposed to be pretty good. That maybe one day I should go back and play. This you can still buy it and play it in single player, I believe, but I don't think it's like officially supported or anything anymore or something like that. Um,
Yeah, I know someone who played it who actually really, really liked that game.
yeah, I've
Um,
heard good things about it too. Maybe you and I should play it someday.
maybe
You know,
I know the Avengers game didn't have very good
yeah.
reviews.
They do. Can I tell you something? They've always. It's. I've been watching gaming shows for a long time. Like they've like made an Avengers game, dude, like 3 or 4 different times now, and it
hmm.
always flops. Like it's always like some new. It's using the most cutting edge graphics and this and that, and it always just ends up being some co-op beat 'em up game where you just beat through like some comic book plot. And then that's it. There's like collectibles hidden and stuff like that. There's not really anything to the gameplay loop. It's just not, it's boring.
The Ultimate Alliance games were really fun.
Mm-hmm.
At least the first two. The third one came out on the Nintendo Switch, and I think that maybe hurt it a little bit. But the first two, I really enjoyed them. And the second one really is just like it's just Civil War, but
Yeah.
as a video game, which is pretty cool. So I had a lot of fun with those games. But yeah, I didn't play the newer Avengers game. I've played some of the first Spider-Man game from Insomniac.
Yeah, I heard the new Spider-Man games are good too. That's
Yeah,
probably why they made two of them because they actually sold well.
yeah,
Um,
and that's probably why they're making Wolverine.
yeah.
So, but yeah, the gameplay looks pretty brutal. Apparently, there's also a mode you can play on it where, like you tone down the gore and violence and blood and shit,
Mhm.
for like more squeamish people, which I guess is okay, interesting. And Wolverine can die in the game. I don't know. There's different things about it, but it looked pretty cool. So,
Yep. It does look
then
cool. I don't know. That being said, though, I don't know if I ever play it because it is a PS5 exclusive, and the only PS5 exclusive I've gotten recently is a new Ratchet and Clank game, which I haven't played. It's sitting on top of my PS5. That game is like 3 or 4 years old now. I just don't know a situation right now where I'm gonna sit down in front of my PC and do some uh do some. I'm gonna sit down in front of my PS5 and my TV and do some gaming on the PS5. I just don't.
yeah,
So
yeah, I feel that. The next announcement was Marvel Tokan Fighting Souls. Don't know what this is, but Arc Systems Works, the studio behind Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, brought its signature hand-drawn anime brawling to the Marvel Universe. The trailer paraded a stacked roster through gorgeously illustrated stages with a Magneto, Doctor Doom, and a Carnage-adjacent villain, making particularly strong impressions. It's a 4v4 tag team fighter, and it looks exactly as chaotic as you'd expect. It comes out August 6th on PC and PS5. I'm not a huge fighter game person. I mean, I'm not really a game person at all, but fighting games feel very redundant at a certain point, you know?
yeah, fighting games are very difficult to get into. Like, it's just a very unique genre all its own. They're very fast paced. You need to know the combos and the controls and everything like that. Yeah, fighting games are not, and I don't play fighting games. I have a fight stick that I got myself for Christmas because I thought it'd be cool, but then I never used it.
Yeah.
So, because it's just I was using it and I was using it and I was like, man, I'm learning whole new controls and everything like that. I don't know what this button does and that button does, and it's just.
Yep. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. The next game, Rayman Legends Retold. It's a full 3D remake of the 2013 classic Rayman Legends. The trailer showed off gorgeous overhauled visuals with Rayman in Glowbox joyously bounding through lush forests, fiery underworlds, and snowy rooftops. This is now a local co-op for up to 4 players. Rayman Legends Retold launches October 1st on PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. I remember playing Rayman on the PS1. I liked Rayman on the PS1.
Yeah, Rayman had a big comeback. I know, and you're in like the 2020s or something like that, where
Mm-hmm.
they unleashed a new game, and I just haven't played them.
Yeah. Boncho the Chef. Mint Rocket, the studio behind the surprise hit Dave the Diver, is spinning off its beloved sushi chef into his own game. Boncho the Chef is a prequel that puts you in the kitchen rather than the ocean, and the trailer leaned hard into the character's effortlessly cool energy. No release date announced for the PS5 game. I'd imagine it'd also be on PC then, because I think Dave the Diver was on PC, right?
Yeah, it was. I heard good things about the Dave the Diver. I never played it myself.
Yeah, I never played it, but I've seen it played. Like, I've seen videos of it played. And yeah, I think people really enjoyed it, so that could be interesting, I suppose. Kamori, Hunt the Unseen. Ikumi Nakamura, the creative director who departed Ghostwire Tokyo mid-development to found her own studio, Unseen, finally showed her hand. Kamori is a supernatural co-op action game set in a yokai-infested Kamori city, where players use a mechanic called the Fox Window to peer into the spirit world and hunt what hides there. It will be on PS5 in 2027. Do you care about that? Do you know anything about Ghostwire Tokyo? Any of that shit?
I never played it. I saw it on Steam. I've seen it on Steam. I think I saw someone vaguely play it one time, but I never played any of the games. I never watched any hardcore gameplay or got into them. So, I just don't know shit.
Yep. Here's a character that's never really fully disappeared and has a lot of resurgences. Tomb Raider, Legacy
Yep.
of Atlantis. Crystal Dynamics and Amazon Game Studios first revealed this one at the Game Awards in 2025, and the State of Play brought a fresh look. It's a full remake of Lara Croft's 1996 debut, rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5, with Lara swinging through jungles, braving snowstorms, and looking considerably more capable than she did 30 years ago. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, it launches February 12th, 2027 on PS5, Xbox, and PC. Yeah, I like Tomb Raider. I remember my dad played the original Tomb Raider on a PC. He had like the CD-ROM disc. You put it in the PC and you'd be playing it. You couldn't do a lot in that game though. Like it felt a lot like Temple Run. Like you'd be running, trying not to fall into holes with spikes in them. I think you could shoot as you were running and like dive side to side while shooting, but I don't remember a lot else.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Tomb Raider?
No, I mean, never played them.
Okay.
Like it's just I just skipped that whole genre. Like
Okay.
I they had the re-release to PS4, and I just never picked it up because I was a PC gamer, and I know it's on the PC now, but like it's just I don't play those kind of games. Like it never crossed my interest. I can go back and play the old ones, I guess, and experience them and see if they're any good or not. I'm pretty sure they are good. Like a million people can't be wrong, but I've just never really been interested in in playing them.
Yeah. Well, I will say a million people could be wrong, but The Lost Wild, Great Ape Games dinosaur survival horror has been lurking in the shadows since
I saw a
2000.
trailer of this. It looks cool.
Yeah. So apparently people have known about it since 2021. It's finally found a home on PS5. The trailer showed a lone figure creeping through a misty forest where something enormous breathed into undergrowth. Torchlight, the only thing between you and whatever was watching. You cannot kill the dinosaurs, only scare them off. Coming to PS5 in 2027. But what if I want to kill the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
That reminds me, there's a movie coming out
Mm-hmm.
with Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think Anne Hathaway,
If you
maybe.
get teleported to prehistoric times, yeah, I saw the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer. I just saw that like dinosaurs were eating people in their suburban neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So that looked pretty interesting to be honest, but maybe all the good stuff is just in the trailer. Maybe it's one of those, But yeah. Phantom Blade Zero, Beijing Studio S game, has been building hype for this Wuxia action RPG since 2023, and this State of Play dropped a fresh teaser ahead of a full trailer this summer. You play as Soul, an elite assassin framed for his master's murder. With 66 days left to live, he cuts through enemies in a kung fu punk world that looks like it ate Black Myth Wukong for breakfast. Phantom Blade Zero launches September 9th, PS5 and PC. You know anything about that game?
Nope.
Okay. Do you know anything about Dune Awakening?
Yeah. I have a lot
Okay.
to say about this, actually.
Fun-
You've just pulled out my expertise. Congratulations. You just activated my autism trap card.
oh,
Because I've been playing the absolute fuck out of that game for the last year and a half. This is about the single player stuff, right?
So I'll just read the little excerpt. Funcom's open world survival MMO has been eating PC players alive on Arrakis since June of 2025, and console players finally have a date to look forward to. The gameplay shown was exactly what you're expecting: crafting armor from plant fiber in a brutally sun-scorched desert, piloting ornithopters at altitude, and trying not to attract a sandworm. Dune Awakening lands on PS5 on September 22nd, so it's just coming to console. is their announcement from State of Play. But did you have something else about it?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
just think that single player will be a very interesting way to experience that game because unfortunately, in how it works in how it works in like how it works in game right now in the multiplayer is like everyone poops out their shitty little bases everywhere,
Mm.
and like you have to see like all their shitty little bases everywhere,
Okay.
and it like sucks, it ruins your immersion. So single player would be really cool because you wouldn't have to see everyone's shitty little bases everywhere. That game, like the game, they've added this horrendous grind to this game though, and honestly, it kind of sucks. And the only reason I played is because of the people I've met. If like I didn't meet so many cool people, I probably would have left a long time ago. Because like what they've asked for you for this grind is just absolutely beyond the pale. Like
Yeah.
it's literally like it's a couple months of grinding just to get to max level on certain things, and it's just ridiculous.
Wouldn't be me. Can do it.
I think they're adding single player because they've inherently know that like what they've introduced with these systems, they've broken PvP in a way that the game multiplayer, like from a multiplayer perspective, just doesn't function. So they've really just kind of axed the idea of PvP at total.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned your autism trap card.
Hmm.
Because my therapist has been alluding to the fact that I may be autistic for like 3 weeks. Um, like it's kind of odd. Like the first time she was like, "Oh, like maybe you're like she's like I'm not diagnosing you, but like maybe you're like very high functioning autistic, and like I recommend you like read some books or whatever, right?" And then like the next week she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bring it up again, but like I'm not saying you're autistic, but maybe you should like find other autistic people to talk to."
Autism to autism connection, bro.
And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "All right." I didn't do that, but and then yesterday, she's like, there's this test which is actually like the questionnaire that we like. These are the criteria we follow to determine if someone's autistic. And she's like, "You don't have to, but I'll send you the link if you want to take it." So I took it. and I said I have scored my score indicates significant traits of autism. So I don't know what that means. I just know that this is a new thing for me.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's interesting telling someone, I think we're all really on the spectrum, truly. I think that's just a fact of life. I think some of us are probably more intense in other ways than others, but, it's, the end of the day, you got to connect with people that you connect with.
yeah, I mean it's like my wife. She's like, "Oh, I'll take it too," or whatever. So she took it and she scored like 11, which means like
Hmm.
no signs.
Hmm.
And I scored a 34.
Yeah.
Which is like it's on the low end of significant, but I think the scale below it like is moderate, right? So I don't know. I don't know how to take any of that. I just think the only use of it is to understand why I think the way I think or behave in the way I behave, or like it can be an explanation for why I struggle to really form real connections with people. But like
Mm.
I don't like to look at like I don't like having excuses or crutches for things. Like it's not like it's not like I can excuse bad behavior or odd things or weird things I do because of that. Like it's just being able to identify them and overcome them. I don't need necessarily the explanation for why. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's good to understand these things about yourself, but obviously don't like make it for your excuse is why you treat people like shit. Like, sorry, I'm autistic, so I'm treating you like fucking garbage. Like, this is, don't do
Yeah.
that. There's a
Which
couple people I know that fucking do that. Like, yeah, sorry, I'm autistic, so that means I'm a fucking asshole that has no, like, I just don't, like, I like treating people like, I don't think about the words that come out of my mouth, and I just treat you like shit, and I don't know.
Yeah, which I wouldn't do that. Like, I try to treat people well in general. Like, and even if I don't like someone, like I'm not gonna treat them badly. But I think like maybe just because of the way my brain works sometimes, like I'll say things without thinking, and like then I'll think about saying that like for hours. I'm like, why did I say that? That's stupid. Like, did it affect like the people around me? Did I like hurt anyone's feelings or like offend somebody? And like you're just creating problems for yourself in those situations. But like that's like sometimes I can't move past those kind of things easily. Like I feel like, oh, I said something stupid like in front of a group of people or something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, yeah, autistic brothers.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dynasty.
I haven't taken a test or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure, like, with considering how much time I spend in front of the computer playing video games, and like, how like, I don't know, like I go out, I don't really want to like talk to people, because of, like
Yeah,
nobody really talks, no one plays Star Wars Galaxies or like obscure MMORPGs that
yeah,
I play, which is kind of a problem even with like my real life friends that are my gamer friends, right? Like I have a big Discord where all of us hang out, right? And I've known these guys since high school, like we met in high school, and we all play
yeah.
video games together and shit like that. And it's like funny because like I hang out with them, but none of us play the same games. Like they all play the same games, and I play like all these Outcast games, and none of them ever touched. You know?
Yeah. But I mean, that's what like that's like one of the like because I've been reading a lot about like this kind of stuff, and it's like one of the traits of like autistic people is like they find things like interests that they really enjoy, and like
Mm-hmm.
that like becomes their life, you know? Like they like dive fully into those things that like they enjoy, right? And so I guess you could like a lot of nerds are already like that, right? Like we already dive in like Star Wars and everything, like it's like a big part of our life, right?
Yeah.
And like video games too, right? But I don't know, it's like you could fit some traits of something and not be that thing, but I don't know, it's just interesting. Like for me, it's like a lot of awkwardness. The same thing. Like when I go out, I don't really want to talk to people. I kind of just do my own thing. If I do talk to people, I don't know how to just walk away. Like it always feels awkward to like leave a conversation, and most of the time it feels awkward to start a conversation. Like I don't like small talk. I'm not good at small talk. Like it's like there's no good. It's just odd. Like if someone is very confident and isn't awkward, I could talk to them, right? That's like not hard. But if someone else is awkward, bro, I'm fucking awkward. Like I don't know how to get out of that situation and make it not awkward. Which can be difficult because I work in a profession where I need to meet with people often, and if they're awkward, like it gets awkward. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I met our CFO recently. So like her and our not CEO, her and our president were like walking around trying to like get to know us a little better and like what we do. I obviously I know the president of the company, and I know like my bosses and other like directors and stuff, but I never met the CFO. I've seen her around, I just never met her. And I remember like she read my nameplate and said, "Oh, nice to meet you. I'm so and so." And I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And I'm like sitting at my work chair, and they're like standing around. And part of me was like, "Do I lean forward and like shake her hand?" And then like it just got weird, and I just didn't do it. And I still think about that. Like every time I see her now, she says hi to me because now she knows who I am. But like I still feel weird because I didn't know if I should shake her hand or not.
Hmm.
Is that normal?
Well, what is normal?
uh,
That's the real question these days. Like, our president paints his face orange to maintain the illusion of youth. Like what is normal?
yeah, yeah. Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered. You know anything about Dynasty Warriors 3?
I know, but I know about Dynasty Warriors, like in general, where like it's really cool. You're like this big, you're just like a little guy, and you run around, and like you're fighting an army of like dudes, and you beat them all up and stuff like that, and
Yeah. Well, apparently it's a PS2, legendary PS2 classic. Okay. And yeah, it's getting remastered. It'll be on PS5 October 1st. Okay. No rest for the wicked. Moon Studios, the team behind Ori and the Blind Forest, has been cooking this precision action RPG in early access on PC since 2024, and it's finally ready to graduate. The 1.0 release brings a full class and progression system plus endgame content, and console players get it at the same time. No Rest for the Wicked hits PS5 October 2026.
Oh yeah.
You know that game?
Nope.
Okay.
There's a lot of games out there these days. It's not like I'm gonna play each and every single one of them.
What about Onimusha: Way of the Sword? You know that game?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's a Capcom game. They're reviving their beloved samurai action series after a 20-year absence. Built on the REE engine in Edo period Kyoto, the trailer showed a samurai wielding the iconic Oni gauntlet through fog-drenched streets, crawling with Genma, whatever, demons, and towering horned bosses. It boasts the same kind of brooding atmosphere that made the original series legendary. It will launch September 25th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox, and PC. I saw flame wielding, and it reminded me. I was working at the marina on Sunday, and a boat was on fire. Did you ever deal with a boat fire?
No, we never had a boat fire.
Holy brother, this. So we saw I was walking the docks, and I was all the way at the other end of the marina, and I got a call from my boss, and he's like, "Hey, yo, do you see the smoke? There's a fire over by the fuel dock." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And so him and we hop in the workboat where we have like a power washer pretty much in there, and so we go over. The fire department's already there. There's just black smoke everywhere. Luckily, it wasn't at the gas dock. It was on the dock attached to it, so it was further down. And luckily, the fire didn't spread. It was just on this one boat. But it was crazy. It was crackling. The fiberglass was splitting. The fire department only had one hose. And so we're out there on the water using the power washer to try to help them put out the fire. We had to keep going in and out because the smoke kept getting real, real thick. So we couldn't see, we couldn't breathe. We had to get out, go back in. Bro, that shit was crazy. Luckily, the boat kind of sank at some point, so that put the fire out. And there was no explosion. It didn't spread onto the boats next to it. Obviously, they'll probably have some smoke damage and other things. But that shit was fucking wild. So
yeah, boat fires. It's just a plastic tub full of gas, full of fuel.
That thing had 50 gallons of gas in it, plus 2 fuel tanks on the boat that were also full of gas that kept igniting when we were trying to put it out. And that's the thing, you can't put out a fuel fire with water. I don't know. That's crazy. Silent Hill Townfall. Have you played any of the Silent Hill games?
No.
Okay.
Which is, I never really wanted to play horror games. I always played RPGs growing up. So it's always my big, if there was a new Mass Effect or a new Dragon Age coming out, I could talk about that for a long time. But Silent Hill is a very classic, iconic horror series. Though I've followed Silent Hill because it's interesting. Because it's such an iconic series.
Mm-hmm.
I never played them. Never played it myself.
Yeah, well, this game comes out September 24th on PS5, Xbox, and PC. What about Ace Combat 8: Wings of Thieves?
Okay, I have played Ace Combat games. They're really fun, arcadey flight games where you just fly around in jet fighters and do these crazy maneuvers that wouldn't work in real life. And, you get outrageous amount of kills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The games look amazing. The soundtrack's always blasting. There's always this stupid the plot is always really dumb. It's usually there's always some army that takes over and they can only be accessed by the air and you got to free the air war and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the game, there's always one big giant air machine you got to shoot down. That's all fun. And yeah, it's just a good
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's fun.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, and it is launching October 2nd, only on PS5 though. So, what about Stuntman Hollywood? This
Never heard of it.
game had a reveal trailer that leaned into movie nostalgia hard with a DeLorean and a flame-striped sports car straight out of the Fast and Furious knockoff, tearing through city streets. No release date or platforms were announced, so this is pointless. Ill. What the fuck is Ill? Team Clout, a studio whose founders cut their teeth designing monsters for horror films, including Long Legs and It, Welcome to Derry, brought their nightmare fuel to the state of play. Published by Mundfish powerhouse, the Atomic Heart developers' indie arm, Ill is a first-person body horror set inside an abandoned research fort with grotesque creature dismemberment that looks like it was designed specifically to ruin your sleep. Coming to PS5 in 2027. Okay. What about Control Resonant? No, never heard of this one.
Nope.
Okay. Remedy Entertainment is back in the Federal Bureau of Control. The trailer was exactly what fans of the 2019 original would want. Brutalist architecture, warping at impossible angles, familiar FBC badges, that particular shade of teal light that means something very wrong is happening. No Jesse Faden visible, but the paranormal dread was fully intact. Control Resonant launches September 24th on PS5. Marathon Season 2. Are people still playing this Marathon game? You don't play Marathon. I know you don't.
I know that. No, I don't play Marathon. It's Bungie's new collectathon like arena shooter. It's just
Yeah. What about RuneScape Dragon Wilds coming to PS5?
It's a RuneScape survival game.
All right. Until Dawn 2. I know
that's like it's like a horror game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that comes out in 2027 on PS5. And then last but not least, God of War Laufey. And this one focuses on Faye, Kratos' late wife, and Atreus' mother, finally taking center stage in what appears to be a prequel. The trailer showed her fighting through ancient ruins, and we also got a glimpse of Kratos and a young Atreus, with enemies drawn from multiple mythologies beyond the Norse pantheon. No release date has been announced so far. Yeah, they used like a lot of different gods of war from different cultures and stuff that I heard about. That was pretty cool. But you mentioned controversy because it's a woman.
Yeah, it's a woman.
That's the only controversy? People are just mad that it focuses on Faye?
Yep.
Interesting.
Gamers hate women. I don't know what to tell you. I remember when this shit happened when I played Dishonored 2, and like I always picked the chick to play, and you could play Corvo, but like people got mad at me. Why don't you play Corvo? I was like, I don't know. I think that Corvo already had a story. He had his game, and I think that the other chick is more interesting to play as. And I don't give a shit for that.
Okay. I mean, should I just name this episode "Gamers Hate Women"?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. People seem to really enjoy the God of War games. I've never played them. I've seen gameplay from them, obviously, and obviously the lore is probably super interesting, and the way they tie in elements of mythology and different things like that. And I've seen a lot of hype. I've seen people really hyped about this game as well. So there are some gamers who don't hate women, but maybe not many.
Yeah.
So. Overall, as someone who's not a gamer, I can't comment on the strength or weakness of these announcements. I thought the Wolverine announcement was probably the coolest, as a nerd who likes Marvel. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the character Wolverine, I thought the gameplay looked pretty cool. And
it did look cool, but I don't think I'm gonna play it. It's a problem because it's a PS5 exclusive as far as I'm aware. So
yeah, and I don't have a PS5, and they just raised the prices, and so I probably won't buy a PS5 ever. Mm-hmm. So that's how it goes. Did you happen to see the Lex Luthor armor image from Man of Tomorrow?
No, I did not.
Well, some people are mad about it, but it's very comic book accurate. It looks really good. I think Man of Tomorrow is going to be sick. Speaking of which, Supergirl tickets went on sale today. I doubt you're going to drive out here for Supergirl, so I don't blame you. I will be seeing Supergirl whenever it comes out, and then I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah, I will see it in theaters as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, we're getting a lot of TV shows now. Spider Noir is out. I've watched 2 episodes.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to watch Spider Noir. I
No,
forgot.
it's fine. It's fine. You could watch it in either color or black and white. I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way. It's noir, so maybe black and white is better. I think, you know, my wife has been watching it with me, so we only watched the first 2 episodes, but I don't know. I kind of like it so far. I'm a big fan of the character. Nicolas Cage is kind of hard to take seriously sometimes, but I don't know if you're supposed to take him super seriously even in this role. So I've liked it, what I've seen of it, and so hopefully, whenever I'm done, we'll talk about it. Whenever we both watch it, we'll probably talk about it and share all our thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway. I don't really have anything else prepared. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to talk about.
Do you think The Mandalorian and Grogu is selling well in the box office?
I think you have to look at it in a different context than kind of how people are looking at it. I think a lot of people are looking at it as how it's performing against other films. Like it'll make its money back, right? Like it'll more than cover its budget, and it'll make a profit as a movie. As a Star Wars movie, right? Star Wars movies are making $800 to $1.5 billion in the theater, typically, for the ones we've gotten, right? But we've had some exceptions like Solo and The Mandalorian and Grogu. I think it'll probably finish its box office run around 500 million globally, which is more than enough for that movie. What I mean when I say like you have to kind of look at it differently is if this would have been a TV show, the budget would have been similar and it would have made much, much less money as a Disney Plus show. Like the revenue from being a TV show is always going to be less, and I think they're going to make a whole bunch of money on the back end through merchandise sales and everything else. From this being a movie, I think this movie is going to be a lot of young kids' first Star Wars film. It's going to launch a lot of people's interest into Star Wars. I think as adults, a lot of times it's easy to be jaded about certain things. Because even when we talked about it, like, we weren't super high on the movie. We just were like, oh yeah, it's a fine, fun little movie. But there's a lot of really cool things, a lot of really funny things, and a lot of things that kids, like, the little Babu Frick guys, Grogu suiting up with like thermal detonators, all the fight scenes, like these are things like kids are gonna eat up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we did that when I saw the Phantom Menace when I was 5 years old. I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my fucking life. And when I started, growing up, it wasn't until I was in high school when I'd hear people just talking shit about the Phantom Menace, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, people actually didn't like that movie? I fucking love that movie. And like, I think you're gonna get a lot of that. Like, this movie, to a lot of people, is nowhere near as bad as the Phantom Menace, but like, it's just a fine movie. But I think there's a lot of kids, and this reminds you who these movies are actually for. A lot of times, there's a lot of kids who are gonna fucking love this shit, And so this movie will more than pay for itself. It'll get a lot of people into Star Wars to keep that fan base going for years and years and years, to keep the money coming in, and it will make more money as this TV show than another season of The Mandalorian would have. So I think it's going to be a success for them overall, even if people want to talk shit about how, it's not going to make $1 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that insightful? I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, it's just, it's your thoughts on what you think, with the box office. Like, I think, I think it's a good movie, and you're right. I think it's going to sell well on DVDs and going to keep, going up and up and up. And, I just think the sooner it gets, like, the streaming, the better,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's everything. Thanks, everybody, for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Click all the buttons, like, comment, rate, review, subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.